So a lot of people in my last video asked, how did I set up this Office panel? So today I'm going to run through how you can set it up and how you can get it working with your Home Assistant setup. This is a simple, customizable smart display for Home Assistant. It's fast, works on your local network, and costs around €20. This panel can be used to turn on or off lights, switches, activate scenes, or even run scripts from Home Assistant. I've broken this down into 5 steps, which should be easy enough to follow, and at the end I do have some troubleshooting tips. So step 1 is installing ESP Home in Home Assistant. So if you click on Settings, and then go to Apps, and then Install App, and then just search for ESP Home. And you should see it here. And then you just need to click Install. It's also useful to have Start on Boot selected, Watchdog, and Show in Sidebar, just so you can have it here. Now step 2 is creating the ESP Home device. To create the device, you need to open the web UI either here or in the side menu here. Then you need to press New Device, then Continue, New Device Setup, and then just give your device a name. And press Next. Now you need to select the device type, which is ESP32 S3 if you're using the same one as me. And just press Skip for now. Now we just need to download the code that we're going to use. To do this, we're going to need another app. So if you click Install App and then search for Terminal, you'll see Terminal and SSH. So you need to install this app. So one thing to note is that this app is only available in advanced mode, so you'll need to make sure that's turned on. So if you go down into your profile here, and you should see advanced mode, just make sure that's toggled on. Once you have it installed, click Open Web UI, and you should have access to your terminal. So I'm going to type ls to list to see where I am, and I want to get into this Home Assistant folder here. So change directory, Home Assistant, and then list again. And I want to be in this ESP Home folder right here. So I'm going to do CD into that. Now we need to download that code using Git. So we're going to do git clone. I'll leave this command in the description. And if we do ls then, we should see that folder there. Cool, that's it downloaded. So we're now at step 4, which is configuring your device. So for this, we need to change your device's YAML file. And the best way to do this is through ESP Home Builder. So if you go back in here and then click Edit, and that's this file here. So we're going to need to delete everything that's in this file because we're going to add our own stuff. I'll leave a link in the description for this. We're going to add this in. So you should see some errors here saying that these secrets aren't defined. Let's go define them now. So just save and then close this file. So now you need to click on secrets here at the top, and in here you'll need to define your Wi-Fi password and your Wi-Fi name as well. You'll also need to add the latitude and longitude. This doesn't have to be exact, and you can just leave it as 0 if you want. This is used by some other weather features that we won't be using. Actually, there's one more thing you need to add, which is AP password, and this is just for if you want to connect to your device over Wi-Fi, so you can connect to it remotely. You'll use whatever you want here. So let's save that and now edit our YAML file. So this first part is where you configure your fonts, your kind of colors, brightness, and your behaviors across the board. Next is your kind of device name and things like that. So that should match the name at the top here, this part here. This is where you set your board and stuff, but if you're using the same one as me, you can leave that as is. And this is where you define your Wi-Fi secrets, so that's all imported here. So these are the packages. This is the stuff that you kind of downloaded from Git, and these are all being imported and used. So these are the parts you customize yourself. So here you've got your ID. So this is the Office Light button. This has to be a unique ID. You've got your kind of clock here. And this is the ID that relates to the entity in Home Assistant. I'll show you how to get that now. So if you go into Settings, and then go down to Developer Tools, and then State, and then just search for it here. So if I was to search for Office Light, you can see that that's just this ID here. So you just copy this. And if you paste that into the file, then that button will control that entity. And this is just the text for the button. So this will say Office Lite for that button. And then this is the column and row for that button. And this is the icon that's going to be used for that button. So these icons are actually defined inside of that package that we downloaded. So you can see them all in here. I'll leave a link for this as well. But this is where you'll find a massive amount of icons that you can use. If you do change them, you'll need to define them at the bottom of the file here. So you just need to change these here. So you'll have to excuse the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to build it to scale. But this is hopefully an image that'll give you an idea of how the things relate. You can see here like text Office Lite, that relates to the text on the button. And then Ceiling Light relates to the ceiling light icon. And then you have phone charger text, which relates to the phone charger text. And then cell phone charging relates to that icon there. Hopefully that helps. So there's lots of different types of buttons you can use. You can see them all defined here on GitHub. There's loads you can play around with. These are all imported here, and you can change them by changing these file paths. Once you're happy with your buttons setup, you can just save your YAML file. So this is the final step of compile and flash. So now we just want to connect our ESP32 display to the computer. Back in ESP Home, click the little menu, press install, then select plugged into this computer. And this can take a bit of time, so just be patient with it. It will download eventually. So once it has finished, just select download project and select the top one here, which is for ESP Home Web, and then press keep. And now you want to select open ESP Home Web. Now press connect, select the USB port, and then connect again. Now press install and just find that file on your computer. And then just press install. And again, this might take a bit of time, so just be patient. And then all going well, it should just load up. I think I messed up the buttons on this one. If this is your first time setting it up, if you go into settings and then devices and services, you should see it here. Now you just need to press add and submit. Now you may also see a warning message like this. So if you do see this, you just need to go into devices and services. And then you just need to search for ESP Home. Select your device here in the little menu. And then select this allow device. And that should fix it. So this last section is just some tips and tricks in case you run into any issues. So the first bit of advice is if you're doing an install and you get an error, if you try install this last option, this will then give you the logs on the screen and it'll show you what the error message is. So you can see in this particular case it's about an ID of the Office Lite. So if we just have a look in our YAML file then for that. I've done this error deliberately because I've made this mistake. But the problem here is that the Office Lite is defined in two of them and that UUID needs to be unique. Another thing you can do is you can validate the YAML file this way as well. And this can take a bit of time too, but it will run through and scan the file and tell you if there is any errors. If you are changing any of the icons on these buttons, it's fairly simple. If you want to know what they look like, just Google them, and there's actually this website here. It's normally the first result and that'll give you an idea of what the buttons look like. So I did test this on a Windows machine and I didn't run into any issues, but you may need to install these two drivers here. I'll leave a link for them in the description below, but I didn't need them. I'm currently working on a Spotify integration as well. If that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments and I might make a video on that too. Cool, well that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and please consider liking and subscribing. Cheers, bye.